AI just gave software engineers a 40% speed boost this past week. It also just hacked GitHub. We need to talk. The good news. AI tools dramatically got more powerful, and the data says they're cutting development cycles by 30 to 50%. The bad news. An AI agent just exploited GitHub Action workflows across thousands of repos, meaning the infra that you rely on every day is now an active attack surface. So which one should you care about? We're going to cover both today. So by the end of this video, you're going to be able to know where you should spend most of your energy on. Let's start with the model releases because there was a lot of them this past week. On March 5th, Sam Altman tweeted on X that GPT-5.4 is launching and is available now in the API and Codex and rolling out over the course of the day. It's much better at knowledge work and web search, and it has native computer use capabilities. It went on then later to say, you can steer it mid-response, and it supports 1 million tokens of context. This is a meaningful jump for OpenAI. It merges the coding power of their Codex series with general reasoning. And it's the first general purpose model that comes with native computer use capabilities, meaning it can operate your desktop, your browser, your apps, all autonomously. Watch this demo from OpenAI.
Brought some examples to show today. I'm going to open Codex. I'm going to use GPT 5.4 thinking, and I'm going to use the high reasoning level. Build and test a 3D chess game, Electron app. I'm going to add just a little bit of more of a challenge for the model as well, and ask it to make 2 effects, glass and marble. It's cooking. This is a challenging use case for Kua because there's so many pieces. You have to click the right pieces. Are like reflections working? The model needs to have a good sense of like all the rules, and then how like manipulating those pieces will lead to a state where you can actually test out those rules. Like castling, for instance, right? Where do you drag the king or the rook to get it to the right place where it'll actually castle correctly? That was castling that just happened. That was en passant. What is it doing now? So Kua is clicking through the game and moving the pawn on the other side. It's actually playing the game. We're building software for humans to use, and humans use software with user interfaces. And so we want...
Anthropic has been busy too. Both Claude, Sonnet 4.6, and Opus 4.6 released in the last few weeks, and they both are amazing. Opus 4.6 now has the longest autonomous task completion window of any model ever measured. We're not talking about it answering a question. We're talking about the AI model going off on its own, working on a complex engineering task without you ever interacting or touching it. All of these models also support context window of up to 1 million tokens. That's about 750,000 words. Basically, you can hand over your code base entirely to it as a context. And the thing that most of these models and labs are pushing for these days is what they call agentic reasoning, which is basically multi-step autonomous workflows. Not just answering questions, basically doing planning, executing, debugging, iterating, all of it on its own, without or with minimal human interaction. The headline stat from multiple different studies has shown that the AI-assisted coding is delivering 30 to 50% faster. Here's a study from Firecrawl that shows the CLI agents help developers to basically code faster by 30%, and a multi-agent system helps them to code faster by 50%. And that's real, that is not hype. Okay, but what does all this mean for you? Here's the good news that I want you to take away from this. The AI engineering roles have grown 143% year over year. Meanwhile, the general tech kind of jobs hiring is basically stayed flat. This gap is the signal. The companies aren't hiring fewer developers. Instead, they're hiring developers who know how to work with AI tools. And the ones that don't are quietly being filtered out at the resume stage. So, if you are a mid-career engineer right now, this is both a warning and an opening opportunity for you. The warning is that someone who knows how to prompt, validate, and ship AI-generated code will get more done than someone who doesn't. You have years of experience and knowledge compared to the junior devs that are using AI today. That judgment layer Knowing when AI is wrong, that is genuinely powerful, and it is stuck with you and it's not going to go anywhere. But you have to actually pick up these AI tools. You don't have to be an expert in using them. Just get comfortable enough so that you're not slower than someone who is using them. Real quick, if you've liked this video so far, smash that subscribe button. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers and every one counts. And to thank you, here's my dog, Cayden. All right, back to it. Now here's the story that flew under the radar. And I'd argue that is the one that matters the most to engineers specifically. GitHub was hacked. Here's an article on Trevi that said, Trevi has been attacked today via GitHub Actions, along with other popular projects. It says, we believe the vulnerability came from a specific GitHub Actions workflow, which we have fixed. Then he goes on to say that the impact was that the repo was made private and renamed. That's scary. GitHub releases between 0.27 to 0.69 were deleted, including associated GitHub discussions and assets for those releases. My goodness, just imagine. That would give me a heart attack. He then goes on to say that a malicious artifact was created for Trevi's VS Code extension and pushed to open VSIX marketplace. We have removed that artifact and revoked the token used to publish it. Here's another one from Cybersecurity. They said that Hackerbot-Claw, an AI-powered bot actively exploiting GitHub Actions, Microsoft Datadog, and CNCF projects hit so far. When I saw that Hackerbot-Claw, I was like, OpenClaw? As you see, between late February and early March, a malicious AI agent called Hackerbot-Claw systematically scanned 47,000 public repos to exploit their GitHub Action workflows. It hit some major companies like Microsoft. It achieved remote code execution and stole authentication tokens. Basically, your CI/CD pipeline, the infra that scans your code every time you push a PR, that became the entry point for this malicious AI agent. So we've had bots exploiting GitHub before, but this one is new. The behavior is different. It used agentic behavior. It reasoned, adapted, and moved laterally, where the traditional bots were unable to do. So if you're a software engineer responsible for the infra for your team, the GitHub CI/CD pipeline and GitHub Action workflows, it is now a named attack vector in security audits. SOC 2 teams are already updating their documentation to include this. Here is the uncomfortable truth. Most companies, when they have set up their CI/CD pipelines, this AI agents, scanning and exploiting misconfigs and everything at scale for GitHub Actions wasn't there. But don't panic. You now have to add it to the list of things that you actually review. The opportunity, spend 2 hours, just 2 hours, testing out these new AI tools that came out on an item from your backlog. So you can build your own informed opinion of their productivity. 2, security. Audit one GitHub Actions workflow by reviewing its secrets, permissions, and trigger conditions to ensure that they're not overly permissive. The pace of this stuff, it's actually gonna accelerate even more. So my job is to make sure that you're aware of them and know what to do about them so that you won't stay behind. If this video helped you, I would really appreciate if you smash that like button. It genuinely helps the channel grow and put this in front of more people who would find it helpful. And to thank you, here's a joke for you. Why did the developer quit? Because they didn't get a raise. I know, cheesy. I'll see you in the next one.